Good day everyone, I'm Hurley Borify Reviews here, back at it again with my review for the Venture Electronics UA Vanguard, or the unabridged Vanguard. This is one of their latest, yes, this is one of their latest products or headphones, since they had the Venture Electronics Supernova before, which I haven't heard personally, but a lot of people says that it was good in its time, and probably today. I'm not really sure, but yeah, we'll focus on the Vanguard here. So throughout this video, I'll be calling the UA Vanguard just simply Vanguard um for me to remember or to address the headphones easily. Okay. But before I proceed, I'd like to thank Venture Electronics for sending this unit to me in an exchange for a very honest and transparent review. Rest assured that all of my reviews are honest and transparent to the core, like I always do, for the benefit of everybody, of course, including me. Since again and again, I won't be editing this extensively, English isn't really my native language, so for any future grammatical errors, I do apologize for those. I am doing better day by day. And second, I don't really I prefer writing reviews rather than recording them. A lot of people say that I should do this, I should do that, this and that, but my apologies. I plan these reviews to be as unfiltered or as uncut as possible, since again, I prefer writing reviews than recording them. There will be better YouTubers or better content creators who specializes video reviews than me. So I suggest that you also watch and support them, since they are the more experts here when it comes to video recording. Okay, I prefer writing usually. Sorry. Okay, so to give you an idea, the Venture Electronics Vanguard, or the UA, unabridged Vanguard, costs around 120-ish US dollars, or at times it may cost under $100, so to speak. But to keep things safe and to keep things as accurate as possible, it costs around 100-ish US dollars. So it is around 6,000 or 5,000 pesos here in the Philippine money, or the Philippine peso. And it also comes with different configurations that will suit what you prefer. Okay? Um by the time that I record this, there are currently I believe there are currently two variants that you can purchase the Venture Electronics Vanguard with you. The first one being the Venture Electronics Vanguard with the cable, like the cable here, the what do you call this, with the Venture Electronics retro cable, Monk retro cable. I believe that is the base. Yes, that is the base configuration that you can get it with. And it also includes a Devastator 4.4. So all of these configurations are in 4.4 balance connection, so that is really a good thing for you to fully maximize the Venture Electronics Vanguard. Okay, since the Venture Electronics Vanguard is a 300 ohms, it is a 300 ohm headphone. So, and its target market is uh it is being compared with the Sennheiser HD600 and the HD650, or those types of headphones, which speaks a lot in terms of the overall design and the presentation. I it isn't really necessarily a bad thing to me, in my opinion, because despite having that target, or despite having that inspiration per se, Venture Electronics clearly tuned the Vanguard to their own house sound, which is a really good thing for a sense of identity, for their sense of individuality. Because at the end of the day, these headphones, spoiler alert, sounds really good for what they are worth, and that's what really matters on a consumer perspective. Okay, the second thing matters probably is how you market the Vanguard in this case, because it is marketed as a competitor, or um as a upgrade, as what they have been saying here in their marketing campaigns, wherein this is quite a likely an upgrade to the HD 600 and HD 650, which I will discuss later on, because I really did my best to, what do you call this, to go to our local headphone shop, the Egghead Audio Hub, just to do a side by side with this one, the Venture Electronics Vanguard versus the Sennheiser HD 600. I also loaned at some point in time a Sennheiser HD 600, um but it was like a year now, I believe. Yeah, it was like a year now, because that was my dream headphones. And I also have a couple of headphones here that I personally own, which I really like as well, which will tackle and compared with the Vanguard. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you can definitely get or purchase the Venture Electronics Vanguard with three. As of now, it is in three configurations. So you can get the Venture Electronics Vanguard with a 4.4 with the MCR. This is the Monkable Retro MCR 4.4, with the Devastator 4.4, which I also have here. Yes, apparently this can drive the Venture Electronics Vanguard just fine, which I will also tackle later on. You can also get this one with the Monkable Retro with the Megatron. So this will be the very fitting option for a $300 headphone, in my opinion. And you can also get this one with the Monkable Pro, so MCP. So this is supposedly their upgraded cable to the Monkable Retro. And apparently these two have different uh sound improvements, I believe, as what they have marketed here with the Vanguard, which also I will tackle later on, despite it being a very controversial take, because as we all know, some people do not really believe on cable changes or cable improvements to the overall sound, which I will discuss later on. Okay. Okay, so to give you an idea again, this is 300. The Venture Electronics Vanguard is 300 ohms. So in good practice, if you really want to maximize the Venture Electronics Vanguard, you will be needing an amplification here for sure. Based on my experience, it really shines well with an amplification or a desktop setup. Sure, a couple. Oh, my apologies on that one. Sure, a couple of dongles here and there, what I have here with me, can technically drive the Venture Electronics Vanguard properly. Like for example, I have here the Sonic Memory SA500. I have here the Venture Electronics Devastator as what they have marketed. I also have here the Megatron. Yes, I also have an EFI stock here, the Zencan and the Zendak, which pairs with the Vanguard really well, despite not being recommended by them. But yeah, I enjoyed most of the time using the Venture Electronics Vanguard with a dedicated amplifier. And I believe, according to Wiley, the CEO of Venture Electronics, their Galvatron, or their amplifier that will pair with the Megatron, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong on that one, will be on its way really soon. So in theory, this will pair well with the Vanguard here. But I was also told that if you have a Venture Electronics runabout amplifier, their older amplifiers, it will also pair with the Vanguard really well, since apparently Venture Electronics believes in their ecosystem, which I respect to some degree. Yes, like for example, Apple does this kind of thing for quite some time now, and most of the time it makes sense. And I see Venture Electronics doing these types of philosophy as well, so I kind of respect on that one. Okay. And yeah, so here's everything that you'll be getting with the Venture Electronics Vanguard. As you can see here, we have here the version wherein everything is complete, I guess. But let's say you just want a Venture Electronics Vanguard with you, the cheapest, or probably the most basic option. So what you'll have here is this version. As you can see, the Venture Electronics Vanguard here, the headphones here, the Venture Electronics Monk Cable Retro, the MCR, and the 4.4 cable here. But you also have a variant wherein you can, again, you can purchase it with the Megatron here. And also you also have a variant wherein you can purchase it with the Monk Cable Pro instead of the Monk Cable Retro. Okay? If I were to really nitpick, I'm not sure if the retail version of this Vanguard comes with a case, but I do hope it comes with a case, or at the very least a pouch, or probably a dustbin, because my unit arrived without any protection, without any excessive cushioning, or yeah, without even a hard case. On a consumer's perspective, in my humble opinion, I wouldn't mind spending a little bit more for the Vanguard as long as it has a hard case that it comes with. So I bought a no brand, or yeah, it doesn't have any brand. I bought a unbranded hard case. Yeah, I bought an unbranded hard case for the Vanguard for additional security, or for additional protection. I do believe most headphones really need that for added longevity, but I do see some people that also prefer just using their headphones and hanging them with a headphone stand in their desk. But yeah, I prefer mine having, at least with the very least, with a dustbin, or with a pouch, or yes, here a hard case here and there for, any any protection against dusts or grime, or anything foreign object hitting the Vanguard. Okay, so again, let's do a quick rundown for the specifications of the Vanguard first before I proceed. So again, this is a 1DD, of course. This is a 1DD 300 ohms headphones. This is open back. Yes, this is also an open back headphones with a biological diaphragm. Its rated power is 500 milliwatts. Its sensitivity is 95 decibels. And again, impedance is 300 ohms. Its earphone plug is dual 3.5, so it is pretty much standard, and its weight is 260 grams. In practice, it is not that heavy to my ears. I had a good time using the Vanguard for a long period of time, so yeah, I had no problems, okay, with that one. Okay, so I'll do a quick showcase with the cable here with the Monk Cable Retro. So the Monk Cable Retro is the unsleeve of the two. So, and I do believe they use different materials with the Monk Cable Pro and the Monk Cable Retro. So here's the Monk Cable Retro. I do love this color, this copper colorway. It really fits well with the headphones. So there's that, and it's in 4.4 color, 4.4 termination. I also love their choice of what do you call this? I also love their choice of hardware here. It really feels premium. I love that premium look to it. See, it is really nice. And here's the Monk Cable Pro. Definitely, this is a bit thicker when compared to the Monk Cable Retro. So here's the Monk Cable Pro. As you can see, it is beautifully made. I also like this cable apparently, but if I were to really nitpick, despite Venture Electronics marketing the Monk Cable Pro as the overall better choice for the Vanguard, I prefer using the Monk Cable Retro, mainly because of the color, and yeah, it has less microphonics when compared to the Monk Cable Pro. But don't get me wrong, the microphonics on the Venture Electronics Monk Cable Pro is very minimal. I'm just merely nitpicking at this point. But if I were to suggest, hopefully they don't mind me suggesting, I would have preferred the version of the Monk Cable Pro wherein the upper part of the cable is unsleeved, while the lower portion is the only sleeve region of the Monk Cable Pro. It would be a really good thing in terms of visual aesthetics and at the same time practicality. Yeah, it is just a suggestion. I hope they don't mind on that one. Okay, Okay. Now, as for the, again, for the drivability, 300 ohms, this definitely needs an amplification for it to shine. This definitely needs a very good source or powerful juice to shine. They marketed it pairing well with the Devastator. In my opinion, it pairs just fine, but the to my liking, it isn't that expansive per se, or it isn't that dynamic in my opinion. But yes, the vocals on the Vanguard really shine with the pairing on this one with the Devastator. But again, I prefer it pairing with the Megatron if we're talking only within the VE ecosystem at this point. So I prefer it pairing with the Megatron. I did not had any problems with the Megatron pairing with the Vanguard, but yeah, I've heard it paired with a better source, with a better amplification, and it shines really well with amplification, in my opinion. That is quite understandable because the Vanguard is 300 ohms. It definitely needs some extra powers, that extra juice or extra power that you won't be getting usually from Dangle DAX, in my humble opinion. And again, the Galvatron is just around the corner. Widely said that it will be released soon, so hopefully I can do a follow-up review with the Vanguard and the Galvatron pairing with this one. Okay? Okay. Now, as for the headphones itself, as you can see, it is beautifully made. I love the design. It is very minimal, and at the same time, yes, that is open back. Here, as you can see, it is beautifully made. As you can see, it is quite lightweight as well to the ears, but at the same time, it doesn't feel really cheap at all. I don't feel any cheapness to it. I love these headphones. I have used this for a very extensive amount of time. Like, literally, this has been in my head continuously at some point in time for like 10 hours. Just plain 10 hours without any fatigue. But of course, everyone has different size of ears, different clamping tolerances, but the clamping on this one is quite okay. I had no problems with this one. It isn't that snug, it isn't that loose either. It just sits between, in my opinion, so that's a really good thing. And as you can see, the design on this one, and a bridge on this one, yeah. There's no writing of Vanguard here, but it is named Vanguard. I wish they could have put it somewhere, probably here, the Vanguard, and this one, the unabridged on this one. But yeah, I'm not the designer. Big respect to this one because I love the design on this one. It is very minimal, but it really looks classy in my opinion, probably because of the champagne color. Yeah, rose gold or champagne gold colorway that really pairs well with the Monkable Retro here, as you can see. Okay, okay, and it has also a cushioning here going on here and there. Yeah, so yes, in my opinion, personally, I love the design, I love the execution here with the design of the Vanguard because it just works, and at the same time it is very simplistic, very straightforward. It has no frills or anything adjustments that you need to do extensively for you to get a proper fit. But if I were to nitpick here, uh I'm not sure if this is a skill issue or a personal problem, but the more I use the Vanguard, the portion here with the headband starts flaking off. As you can see here, the fall leather in this one starts flaking off. I'm not sure if it's a user error or their materials are quite prone to flaking off, but personally I had no problems with that one. It doesn't affect my overall experience with the Vanguard, but I do see some people that will probably raise this concern for time to time. So there's that. And at the same time, their extension headband extension system is quite loose whenever you are not do you call this, you are not using or you are not putting this in your head. But the moment when you put this in your head, every adjustment you do is very reassuring. It is not that not too tight, and it is also not too loose either. So yeah, it fits perfectly in my ear. I had no problems it feeling loose or something like that, or the extension sorry, or yeah, the headband extension system messing things up. But whenever you are not using the Vanguard and you are hanging it in your headphone stand, probably it may sag a little bit. So I'm not sure if it's a feature or probably something that needs to be fixed. But yeah, throughout my review or throughout my experience here with the Vanguard, I had no problems with it. Okay, okay. So what's the sound of the Venture Electronics Vanguard? Like what I said before, the Venture Electronics themselves marketed the Vanguard as something that resembles or probably goes toe to toe with the Sennheiser HD600. Let me read what they say in their marketing here. They said the UA Vanguard sound device simple categorization. It has a captivating pure vocal performance, and hence we count it the standard sound of our vision of a proper full-size open-back headphones. Call it the successor of HD600 and HD650, fitting. The bass texture and potential share similarities, but UA Vanguard is easier to drive, and critically, its diaphragm delivers a focal magnetism and vividness. So they marketed this as something that is close or can go toe to toe with the HD600 and HD650, which I can actually respect. But I will discuss later on as to why I am not like fully convinced that it can go toe to toe or even outdo the HD600 and HD650. But yeah, I am still amazed that for its price it can go almost within those headphones. Okay, okay. So yeah, to give you an idea, the Venture Electronics Vanguard or the UA Vanguard sounds neutral to my ears. Yes, it is very neutral. It is quite neutral to my ears with their own house sound wherein they make the mids quite forward and well bodied. So the signature here with the Venture Electronics Vanguard is it is still prominent. It isn't some type of a knockoff or probably a copycat of a HD600. Not at all. You can still hear the Venture Electronics doing its work here or tuned to be their own headphones. It isn't just something like they copied and reiterated something just not to make it look like a copycat. No, this is a in my opinion, this is definitely a different headphone compared to the HD600, but I do see the similarities. Okay? Okay, so I'll be reviewing the Vanguard first here with the MCR or the Monk Cable Retro, since this is the cheapest or this is the base configuration that you can purchase it with. Then compare it with the Monk Cable Pro later on. Okay, so the base here in the Vanguard with the Monk Retro cable, it is quite neutral. It is quite neutral and well-bodied in my opinion. I don't see any dominances of mid bass and sub bass. Most of the time they are quite the same, but if I were to really nitpick, if I were to really take my time describing things, there most of the time it is mid bass focus. So the bass on this one is quite punchy. It is punchy, it is clear, it is clean. Yes, definitely it is clean, and for the most part it doesn't really lack in my opinion. To my ears, I never experienced any lacking bass here with the Venture Electronics Vanguard, even with this cable. So yeah, for the most part, I had no problems. Yeah, I had no problems with the bass here with the Venture Electronics Vanguard. So it doesn't seem to smear on the other frequencies, and it doesn't seem to sound tinny either or lacking in that regard. Actually, I enjoyed my EDM playlist here with the Venture Electronics Vanguard, and most of those are bass heavy. So yeah, yes, of course, this isn't really a bass headset. Far from it, actually. This isn't your Beats or your Skull Candies or JBLs of the headphones, but for the most part, you won't be having any problems in terms of quantity with the Venture Electronics Vanguard. Okay? Okay. Now, as for the mids on this one, it is most of the time neutral, but again, Venture Electronics added their tuning here. So there are times that the specifically the vocals will sound forward. It will sound well placed, in my opinion. It is very detailed, open, just musical, and at the same time it has the good amount of details that you'll expect and you'll get for a sub 100 or even a 200 USD IEM. Actually, Venture Electronics Vanguard is one of those headphones, actually one of those few headphones that I have reviewed that puts some other headphones under 200 USD or within 200 USD to shame, which is very promising for what it is worth. Okay, so lower mids on this one, it isn't that thick, but at the same time, I don't find it to sound lean either. It is very open, again, it is well textured, it has a good amount of warmth here and there, but I wouldn't call it warm, like warm, because I have heard warm sets, and it isn't that warm, in a good way. Upper mids on this one is beautifully presented. I wouldn't call it sibilant, harsh, tinny, or anything like that. In fact, as a person who are accustomed to brighter sources, I find it a little bit safe actually. So I can like technically recommend this to anyone, especially those ears that are very sensitive to upper frequencies. So yeah, you won't be having any sibilance issues here with the Vanguard. You'll enjoy this for a very long time. Okay, now uh, as for the treble on this one, it is also well extended, but it isn't as present when compared to the mids, because again, Venture Electronics or their products are usually tuned to be that way. So the treble in this one, if I were to really exaggerate, is quite relaxed, but at the same time, I wouldn't call it like relaxed, like it's lacking. Not at all. It is not lacking. It isn't just highlighted like the bass actually. It isn't that highlighted, and at the same time, it does not intervene with the other frequencies. So that's a good thing. So yeah, it is well extended. The air and the as what you'd expect with most open back headphones, everything here in the Vanguard really checks out. The sense of wideness, sense of airiness to the treble, the details, the micro details is all present here with the Vanguard. The detail retrieval on this one is, to me, it is on the average side of things. Again, I have heard detailed sets, like those sets that are very technical, like what I have here. Will compare it with the other headphones that I have here in comparison, and the Venture Electronics Vanguard is up to those but not quite. So yeah, it sits well within the expected performance on the sub 200 USD headphones category. I actually prefer this on over a lot of headphones that exist within this price range. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now as for the technical chops on this one, again, it is an open back headphone, so technically the wideness or the spaciousness, the immersiveness of an open back headphone reflects here well with the Venture Electronics Vanguard. And yes, since this they targeted this as a headphone that can go toe to toe with the HD 600 and HD 650, I am quite surprised that the soundstage height and the soundstage depth of the Venture Electronics Vanguard is up on that par with the HD 600. So do expect a very tall, very headroomy soundstage to it, which I really like. I really enjoyed that throughout my review. Um, it is quite obvious that most of my headphones, sorry, most of my headphones do not exhibit that level of height, that amount of height to it. Separation and layering on this one it is on the above average side to my liking. It is very clean actually. I had no problems with even on busy passages. You won't be having any problems with that one. Okay, and the imaging of this one it is actually precise. I had no problems again using this with my whenever I hear podcasts or watching movies or something like that. You won't be having any problems with this one. Okay, so I'll now compare this the Monk Cable Pro with the Monk Cable Retro and how it affects the overall sound of the Vanguard. Do take note that please this section, take this section with a huge bucket of salt, probably Himalayan salt if you may, since these changes are in a very hot topic right now for the longest time, and at the same time it will be very negligible to most people, and I do respect those people that do not hear, and I do respect also those people that do hear some differences. But at the end of the day, in my humble opinion, again, in my humble opinion, the differences on this one isn't really a night and day. Yeah, it you the sound quality, yes, the sound quality of the cables is the least that you'll need to delve or to dive right in whenever you're using a headphone cable, or an earphone cable in that regard either. Whenever I choose headphone cables or earphone cables, I mainly choose based on what I like when it comes to the visual aesthetics, and at the same time the materials used in the cable microphonics, so to speak. Okay? Okay. Now with that out of the way, so how does the Monk Cable Pro pairs well with the Venture Electronics Vanguard? When paired with the Venture Electronics Vanguard, the overall sound, it is still quite the same with a noticeable body to it. So there's an added body on the Vanguard when paired with the Monk Cable Pro. The bass on that one also elevates a little bit, and I was also shocked that I have experienced that by just changing cables here with the Vanguard. I don't know how they did that, but it is quite subtle, but it's there. I can't deny that it isn't there. It's there. So there's a little bit of added bass response, bass quantity going on here and there, and also a little bit of warmth. So in terms of bass, the bass quantity, and yeah, the bass quantity, you'll be expecting a quantity between Sennheiser HD600 and HD650. There's that. So it isn't as bassy than even the HD58X Jubilee. It isn't that bassy when compared to those. It isn't that bassy than the HD650, but it is a little bit bassy when compared to the HD600, when compared to the Monk Cable Retro as well. So yeah, that's the overall difference in my opinion. Um, within between these two cables, again, just like what I've told earlier, I personally prefer the Monk Cable Retro, mainly because of which its visual appearance. That's basically it. And yeah, the practicality. Again, the microphonics on this one is near non-existent, while this one, it has a little bit more microphonics here and there compared to this one. So yeah, that's why I recommended or suggested that Venture Electronics should make a cable based on the Monk Pro with a half sleeve version of this one. It would be hotcakes in my opinion. Okay, so where should we compare this? Where should we compare the Venture Electronics Vanguard? So I have a couple of headphones here with me that I have purchased recently. So yeah, here's the first headphones with me here with me. So the AKG K701. These are known to be the AKG's goated. That's what they call. Yeah, these are known to be AKG's goated headphones, mainly because of its soundstage, of its immersive wide soundstage, an alternative to the HD800S when it was in its peak. And it is also the headphones of Mio Akiyama and K-On. So, yeah. When compared to the HD800 here with me, so, yeah, their differences are very noticeable actually. The first thing that I have noticed is the Venture Electronics Vanguard has a taller headroom. It has a taller stage to it. It has a taller stage going on, but at the same time, it doesn't have the width. It doesn't have the spacious width that the K701 has. So this one has a wider stage, while wider and immersive stage. Don't get me wrong, both of these headphones have immersive stage, but they present it a little bit different to one another. So the K701 has a wider immersive stage, while the Vanguard has it has a taller immersive stage, if I'm making sense. If I'm making sense on this review. Okay, as for the overall sound, the K701 falls within that neutral reference sound signature. So, yeah, the everything is basically flat to most people. To me, it is neutral with a slight emphasis on the upper mids, but it isn't that prominent in my opinion. Yeah, so the presentation on the K701, the AKG K701 is it is neutral. It is fairly neutral. There, it doesn't seem to make other frequencies stand out that much. Even its mids, it doesn't really stand out. It is like placed linearly, and at the same time, the details aren't in your the details aren't in your head. It goes outside or beyond your head. It is placed precisely when in and not usually in front. While the Venture Electronics Vanguard, it accentuates the mids, particularly the upper mids, a little bit for that sweet vocals. And at the same time, as for the technical chops, the separation and layering is a little bit, what do you call this? It is a little bit short compared to the K701 in my humble opinion. But not by a lot actually. On a practical day or on a real usage or on a day-to-day usage, you won't be noticing that a lot unless you like critically listen between these two sets side by side. So there's that. Okay? Okay, and do take note that by the time that the AKG K701s were released, this is like $400. While this is like $100. So we're getting literally a bang for the buck here. Like the performance on this one is insane for its price, in my opinion. I don't want to overglaze or to describe things hyperbolically, if that's a word. But yeah, it is undeniable that the Venture Electronics Vanguard is a very competitive for its retail price. Okay, so I have now here the second headphone that I personally love, which is quite rare today, I believe. So this is the AKG K141, the 600 ohms monitor. So yeah, these are also regarded as some of AKG's headphones that are quite hard to drive, since this is like 600 ohms. Yes, definitely it is 600 ohms, as you can see. 600 ohms, K141, made in Austria. So, when comparing these two, it is undeniably that the K141 is very neutral. It is flat. It is for monitoring, for critical listening purposes. That is the main purpose of the K141 to my ears. And at the same time, the soundstage of the K141, despite it being a semi-open back, sorry. Yes, the K141 is semi-open back, but the stage on that one is quite smaller than the Vanguard. The Vanguard is definitely more immersive, more spacious, more expansive than the K141 when it comes to the overall sound stage or the sense of depth on the overall sound. And yeah, the K141 again is flat. It is uncolored for the most part, while this one, you'll enjoy most of the time your music most of the time here with the Vanguard than the K141. I personally love both sets. So, but yeah, if I am being practical, I'd get the Vanguard in any day, since again, the K141 is discontinued a decade ago, I believe, and at the same time, it really requires a beefy juice or a beefy amp to shine. Like, this only pairs well with my the K141 the K141 only pairs well with my EFI Zen stock or my iFi Zen stock, and it does whenever I pair it with my other dongles, even with the Megatron, it sounds lacking to my ears. Okay, so where should we compare this next? We should compare this next to a recent headphone that I have reviewed, the KiwiEars Altruva. Yes, the KiwiEars Altruva, also an open back headphone, and retails for around $80-ish. Again, when comparing these two, they present their overall sound in a very different manner. So, the KiwiEars Altruva is a V-shaped sounding headphones, although it is marketed as a monitoring headphones, but I disagree on that one. To me, the KiwiEars Altruva is a V-shaped open back headphones with a wide soundstage. Yes, a wide soundstage, wider than deep. while the Vanguard is a neutral sounding headphones with a minor upper mids or mids boost or mids elevation to keep things alive. And at the same time, it has a taller stage, so it has a taller than wide stage. So comparing these two again, the Vanguard is taller than wide, while the Altruva is a wider than tall soundstage. So pick what you prefer. I personally prefer both, but for versatility, since versatility, most of these headphones really fare well with each other. It just really depends on what genre you usually listen to. Since the Vanguard excels more on a country or vocal centric, instrumental centric, acoustic, vocal powered genre, or yeah, pop genre as well, while the Altruva pairs well with a more bassy, hip hop, EDM ish type of genres because of its bass boost or bass elevation. So pick what you prefer. For the most part, the what do you call this? The Vanguard fits well with my personal preferences when it comes to the overall sound and genres that I listen. But again, um, the Kiwirs Altruba is a bit better on the build quality. Uh, yeah, it is a little bit better in the build quality, probably because of the headband system here, because it kind of copies the headband system of the AKGs. Yeah, the self-adjusting headband. So yeah, there's that. Okay. Okay, so where should we compare this next? Yes, of course, I saved the best for last. I'll be taking my notes here for the Sennheiser HD600. So let me get this straight. Okay, let me get this straight. In my opinion, in my humble, respectable opinion, the Venture Electronics Vanguard isn't a one-to-one competitor of the Sennheiser HD600 or HD650, as it nearly resembles the HD600 and HD650 for around 80-ish or 85% of how the HD600 sounds. And to me, that is more than enough, because to give you an idea, the HD600 costs around $300 by the time that I record this video, while this one costs around $100. And it manages to go toe to toe on some parts with the HD600 and HD650. So in that case, that is already a huge win for the Vanguard, in my opinion. Even if they not marketed this as a competitor to the HD600 or an upgrade to HD600, this is undeniably a very good headphones, despite all of that. So that's really a good thing. Okay, but if we're being specific, the Vanguard, the Venture Electronics Vanguard, is a little bit thicker when it comes to the overall body compared to the HD600. The HD600 is quite lean. Even its mids is quite lean, but at the same time, it is forward and very expansive. Even the soundstage on the HD600 is very expansive in terms of width, with a very excellent amount of height. Since yeah, if I already regarded, or I already described the height of the Vanguard as one of the best that I have heard, since it is very tall and it is very headroomy. But the HD600 is definitely the better headphone on that specific context. The soundstage, it has a very good amount of soundstage height and width for me to call it more immersive or more holographic than the Vanguard. But hey, that's just my personal opinion, and that is just what I have found. Okay, do take note that headphone cups or the earpads of the HD600 that I have compared or listened with is also brand new. So it is newly replaced earpads. So maybe that's a thing. Maybe it's something that has a huge factor on how HD600 sounds. Okay, but yeah. So that's the TLDR, or the tulong didn't watch or read. Basically, the Vanguard is 85% HD600 but with a better body. But yeah, it has a better body going on its overall sound. So it is a little bit more versatile actually on most genres that you'll use it with. So yeah, there's that. So I'd call it a mini HD600 or an HD600 Lite, but that's just my personal take to it. Okay, so I'll switch to the Tagalog portion of this video to review, to do a quick rundown with the Vanguard. Okay, so bali itong si Venture Electronics Vanguard is yung pinaka latest na headphones ng Venture Electronics, and 5,000 pesos siya. 5,000 pesos siya for the base configuration. Sa base configuration, meron kang Monk Cable Retro and meron kang Devastator. So, it pairs well naman dyan, pero para sa akin, kung gusto mo fully ma-utilize yung Megatron, Vanguard, i-pair mo siya ng Megatron or hintayin mo yung Galvatron na sinasabi ni Wildey. Okay? Now, as for the fit, comfort, isolation, walang isolation dito. Open back to. And yung fit and comfort, again, maganda. Maganda yung fit sa tenga ko. Wala akong naging problem. Wala akong naging fatigue. Yung clamping force niya, okay. Again, ginamit ko to ng 10 hours tuloy-tuloy. Wala akong naging problema at some point. So, ayun, if I were to nitpick lang, yung headbands niya madali mag-back-back, and at the same time, pag hindi mo suot tong Vanguard, medyo loose. Tama, medyo loose to, itong headband extension system niya. Pero pag suot mo na siya, wala kang magiging problema. Maganda yung fit pag suot mo na. Tapos, ayun nga, meron siyang Monk Cable Pro na variant kung gusto mong bumili ng cable nila. So, pwedeng ito yung naka-pair. Pero, ayun, mas mahal lang siya ng onte. Sabi nila may differences. Para sa akin meron naman, pero hindi ko masasabing night and day yung differences nila. Kung sound talaga habol mo. Pero kung halimbawa aesthetics, may piliin mo yung Cable Pro kung gusto mo ng medyo feel mo fit sa design. Pero para sa akin mas okay itong Monk Cable Retro when it comes sa design, when it comes sa practicality, kasi nga wala siyang sleeve, so wala ganong microphonics, medyo bawas yung microphonics. Pero in theory mas matibay itong Monk Cable Pro in the long run kasi mas makapal siya, tas sleeve pa. If magsasuggest ako sa Venture Electronics, maganda sana gawin nila may version sila na walang sleeve. Walang sleeve yung yung upper portion, tas yung baba lang yung may sleeve. Maganda yung itsura nun in theory. Okay, now sa drivability, again 300 ohms, so definitely kailangan mo ng amp dito, or i-pair mo siya sa yung sa sinabi nila sa Devastator or sa Megatron. May paparating na Galvatron, amp daw siya, amplifier daw siya in my based sa pagkakaintindi ko, na halos kasi laki ng Megatron, so pwede mo siya i-stack doon. Hopefully, maka-audition din ako ng Galvatron. Maka-audition din ako ng Galvatron para ma-follow up kung itong review to ng Vanguard. Kasi doon daw siya nag-prepare best. Sabi ni Wildey, sabi nung creator ng Venture Electronics. Okay, sa tunog niya neutral siya na may may tuning siya ng Venture Electronics. So neutral na may angat ng mids ng onte, especially sa vocals para magtunog alive yung buong sound. Tapos may maganda rin yung pagkaka-execute nila ng kapal ng tunog dito. So para sa akin sobrang versatile niya sa genres. Wala akong naging problema sa kahit anong kulang ba sa bass, kulang sa treble, wala, sakto lang lahat para sa akin. Pero do take note, mahilig ako sa neutral sets, mahilig ako sa mid-centric sets, may times mahilig ako sa bright sounding headphones. So hindi naman to bright para sa akin, hindi talaga siya bright. Hindi talaga siya bright, but at the same time hindi rin siya dark. So nasa sakto lang siya. Maganda yung pagkaka-tuning nila dito. Wala kang magiging problema kahit sensitive yung tenga mo sa sibilance, kasi walang sibilance, walang kahit walang ganun. So, ayun. Sa technical performance, again, wala kang talo dito. Lalo na sa price na to. Actually, pinahiya niya yung headphones na na-review ko previously. Hindi yung Altruva, yung isa. Yung mas mahal na sa 11,000 pesos. Kasi mas maganda yung tunog talaga nito. Kahit sa technical chops. Lalo na sa separation ng layering. Sobrang ganda nito. Yung soundstage niya sobrang tangkad. Favorite ko yung mga ganun kaya nga nagustuhan ko HD 600 So, ang TLDR ko dito, yung claim nila na HD 600 daw to, or kaya daw makipagpantayan sa HD600. Para sa akin, hindi gaano, pero hindi malayo. 85% na hawig neto yung tunog ng HD600 para sa akin. So, yung price difference pa lang nun, panalo na yung Vanguard kasi nasa 6,000, 5,000 pesos lang to. Yung HD600 nasa 13,000, 15,000, 16,000 pesos dito sa Philippine money. So, ang layo ng difference pero yung performance halos dikit, 'di ba? On a practical standpoint. Kung practical pag-uusapan, ito magva-Vanguard ako. Pero kung halimbawa gusto ko talaga yung dream headphones ko, dream talaga, ganun, money is no object, sige, HD600 or probably HD800. No, undeniably, yun talaga yung mas better option. Kung may pera ka. Pero kung halimbawa nagtitipid ka and gusto mo ma-experience yung most of 85% nung mga yon nang hindi ka gaano gumagastos ng sobrang mahal sa hobby na to, itong Vanguard na lang. Okay? Now, balik ako sa English language para sa verdict. Okay. So, what's my verdict here with the Venture Electronics unabridged Vanguard or the UA Vanguard? Probably this is one of the best or one of the most remarkable surprises that I have heard in 2025 since I don't want to overglaze or to describe things hyperbolically, but I haven't heard a headphone that have come this close with the HD600 for literally less than the price of the HD600. And that's a very good thing. Even if Venture Electronics did not marketed this as a headphone that can rival or that can go toe to toe with the HD600 or HD650 or probably HD6XX, this can definitely this still sounds good on its own. This still performs excellently on its own for its asking price. So yeah, without even those marketings, intriguing claims or marketings, I can still recommend the Venture Electronics Vanguard as a one of the best headphones under 200 USD that I have owned in today's market. There's no doubt or no denying that the headphones within this price range is very very competitive right now. These types of performance of these headphones usually by when I was still a newbie, I haven't experienced these types of performances. They just pair and they just perform really excellent. So if you're looking for a headphone that is quite neutral and at the same time it has that very good amount of mids going on, and at the same time you want them open back, the Venture Electronics UA Vanguard is definitely the best option or the best recommendation right now that I can recommend to you. It is a well-tuned headphone, and apparently I am using the Vanguard regularly, most of the time as a palate cleanser because my ears are quite overstimulated by JM1 or by Meta-tuned earphones. So yeah, the Venture Electronics Vanguard is definitely an ear saver for me as a reviewer. But as a consumer, I also enjoy just whenever I listen to podcasts or watch movies because of its very expansive and immersive sound. Okay. And now that ends my review for the Venture Electronics Vanguard. It is a very lengthy review. My apologies. But again, I'd like to thank Venture Electronics for sending this unit to me in an exchange for a very honest and transparent review. Rest assured that all of my reviews are honest and transparent to the core, like I always do for the benefit of everybody, of course, including me. Since again and again, I won't be editing this extensively. English isn't really my native language, and I prefer writing reviews rather than recording them. And I hopefully they allow me or they permit me to do a follow up review of the Vanguard, since the Venture Electronics Vanguard pairs well with their Galvatron. So hopefully they send me a Galvatron for me to do a follow up review on this one, on how it sounds and how it pairs well with the Vanguard. Okay, and the Galvatron is just right around the corner. as what they have told me. Okay, now as for the backlogs, I have a lot of backlogs here. Look what came in the mail recently. So I have the hi-fi products here and there. I have the i3, I have the M90 198C. So probably I'll review this as a double review sometime soon, the M9198C and the CZ120, and do a separate review here with the i3. And I also have here some Snowski products. So yeah, apparently they delivered here with me the Melody, Snowski Melody. They delivered a case with this one, so that's a very good thing of them. And they also have here a JSZ 4.4B, the Jade Audio dongle, so that's a really good thing. I have a lot of backlogs, and thank you for stopping by. And thank you for hearing my ramblings. I really appreciate that a lot. Okay, and see you on the next one. Isa pa? Last one.